are good.
Yeah, we are good. We're very good today. Thank you for asking. But hello internet.
Welcome,
Uh,
ladies and gentlemen of the internet, to a bit of a
as I
midweek.
midweek report, I sit here as I'm watching like Korean candy making on YouTube.
Enough of
Like,
that! We're already an hour late, madman.
all right, I'll watch it later. But it's like
Yes.
it's weird. It's like it's you ever had those things where you're like it started with this whole COVID thing where people started watching weird videos. I think just to like take their time. Or like I remember people talking like, I'm watching wood whittling videos. This is what COVID has brought me to. So now I'm just seeing my feeds fill up with all these weird things like Korean like food stall candy making, and I'm like, yeah, why not?
Interesting.
You know,
Interesting. Anyways.
and interesting. Moving on.
So, today we've got a bit
Uh,
of more community to developer to other developer based topic today.
Yes, it's been admittedly a little bit of a slow week, but
Yeah.
I was able to stumble upon talk around the tables that Elden Ring that we covered last video, or was it the video before that?
No, it was
Whatever. We covered
last.
it in the previous.
Yeah,
Was
no,
it
we,
last?
we covered it last week.
Okay, it was last week then.
Yep.
Well, we covered Elden Ring. We talked about at least my impressions of the game because I'm the only one between the two of us who's played it.
Yep.
And it's,
I've
success,
I've
and I
seen
thought it
a
was very
fair
good.
bit of gameplay of it since last week, and ooh, ooh, ooh. It's like, oh
Is that a
boy,
good oof or a bad oof?
that's some good ooh. It's like, oh wow,
It is
that's
a
some
very
good,
beautiful looking
good, nicely done right there.
game. Which brings us to the topic of apparently there are some developers that do not think that. Which itself wouldn't be so bad until that is they took to Twitter and started a massive Twitter rant about it. And that aged just about as well as you think that would.
Yep, as well as it it,
This has to
it
do
ever
with
does.
This has to do with three developers specifically. Now for the
We're
sake of
not,
not
yeah,
naming.
we're not gonna give out their
Well,
names.
okay,
It's
he
not
won't give out the
impossible to
names. I
find their
would, but
names. Like, granted, it isn't impossible to find their names because a lot of developers and a lot of people will go and put their actual name online. So it's not impossible to find their names and all that. But we at least are not going to be going and directly giving you their names.
correction, he won't. I would, but he's there, so I won't.
Well, frankly, YouTube wise, you don't want to be doing that in general, otherwise you get in trouble. So heed my
What? I'm just
warning
giving out
and
their
don't.
screen names.
Yeah, well, even so, YouTube goes and gets upset sometimes like that because for some
Well, I
reason
can get it.
screen names doesn't matter. It's weird, but it's just
Regardless. Anyways, so these three developers, I will tell you, however, what they are or what they did. Well, at least
mm,
what two of them are. I had to look up what the first one did, and I'll explain why in a minute. One of them is a graphics designer, I believe, if I remember correctly, at Guerrilla Games. Or no, he's a quest designer. No, he's a quest designer at Guerrilla Games. You know, the guys who made Horizon Zero Dawn and its massively successful follow up, Horizon Forbidden West, which I'm actually interested in trying eventually, except the fucking price hike! Story for another day.
yes.
Um, I can blame Sony for that. But, anyways, and the other one works at a company that's a subsidiary, ironically also of Sony, called Nixa Games, if I'm pronouncing that right. And she is I believe it was graphics designer or something like that. I believe it's with graphics or UI designer, something like that. And the other guy, actually, I don't know what he did because according to the rumor is, and funny enough, this is the one that actually started this whole tweet stream that they all kind of that these two that these other two kind of jumped on.
Mm,
He apparently has locked his account, so I cannot find his official account. But word around the table is before he locked his account, it was revealed that he actually worked for Ubisoft as I don't remember what they said he did. I think it was also like a quest designer or something like that. I don't know, but I do know apparently word around the table is he worked for Ubisoft, so
there you go.
as one of their designers. But again, I can't confirm that because apparently another rumor around the mill is he's locked his account, so that's why I can't find him. I did try to find him too.
Yeah.
These other two have not though. You can still find them. And their tweet stream is linked down below in the comment section because the internet is unfeeling, uncaring, and doesn't care if you're angry at something. They will knock you if they think you are, if they're justified, and they were very justified in this case. But anyways,
Moving on.
moving on. So it is kind of interesting to see these three kind of knock it. The original one was from said Ubisoft developer, and their quote was, and quoting from the actual thing here, the fact that Elden Ring scored a 97 on Metacritic is proof that reviewers don't give a flaming poop, his words, not mine, about game UX. My life is a lie. Then the other one, this one from Nixa, jumped in, saying nor PC graphics, stability, performance apparently. And then the one from Blizzard jumped in as well, replying to both of them, saying, nor quest design really, which again speaks to his position as a quest designer, so.
There you
At
go.
least I believe that's his position.
So yeah, you get a little bit of an idea on some of the
So you can kind of
happenings.
see that these three were very salty about the game's success. Despite the fact that the game has been receiving raving reviews from both players and reviewers alike. Again, as this guy says at the beginning, Metacritic gave it a 97. And a lot of people are putting out guide after guide after guide about how to run through this game, so it's certainly not an unpopular game, I would think.
That is for sure. You can't say it's not popular. That is for sure.
Now, I will admit, I did not play the PC version. I have played the PS5 version, so I cannot speak to PC graphics, stability, performance, etc. But I would imagine those are probably better if you have a harder PC. That was my assumption. Those are probably even nicer looking provided your rig can support it. So
there's that. That's for sure.
But then again, these are PS5, so maybe they're about the same with the PC. But still, as I said in our last video, it's a very nice looking game, even if that were the case. So
yeah. Yeah. You know. But yeah, it goes to an interesting point how they went and kind of started slamming a little bit on the game, but you know it's doing really well. But for some of these other companies, you got like Horizon, which is doing extremely well, and then we've got another one which is one of the other people who are involved working on another game that has recently come out, which is a wonderful piece of art.
Which game is that?
Battlefield.
Which game is it? Oh no, that Battlefield 42 has been a while back now, man.
Well, yeah, but it's somewhat recent, not super recent.
That was the first guy.
Yeah.
For those who are wondering.
Yes.
The one who locked his account. Rumor was I started hearing around the rumor mill that people started slamming him for Battlefield 42 because apparently he was also here's the thing, developers will often put their not only their name but also their the company they work at if they are, or the previous projects they've worked on that are pretty big, to give themselves kind of criteria if anyone looks them up. It's a wise decision for all intents and purposes if you're trying to get hired, which a good people are. According to his account, apparently, he was one of the dudes who worked on Battlefield 2042, which...
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, not the most well-received game in the world, if at all. So, him calling another game trash is kind of the...
interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, considering his previous credentials, pot calling the kettle black, you could almost say. But anyways... It's not even the pot calling the kettle black. It's the pot calling the, I don't know.
It's just calling the kettle in general. Black. Yeah, it's just calling the kettle in general.
It's just, in this case, it's the pot calling the porcelain tea set black. But anyways. Which sounds like some weird racist innuendo. I don't know. Maybe that's just my mind. But anyways. But, still.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about. Yeah, it's interesting.
Certainly doesn't look good for the three companies involved. Apparently, again, Ubisoft, Guerrilla, and Nixa, who, according to the woman's profile, looks to be a subsidiary of the Sony's studios. So you could just say this doesn't look good for Sony in general, but you could always say Sony is Sony Studios under their umbrella. They can't micromanage all of them, so they can kind of deflect that a little bit.
Yeah.
This is more on Nix's head than anyone else. Guerrilla doesn't look good for them, or at least one of their developers. Again, considering Horizon, last I checked, was also very well received. It may not be winning any awards anytime soon. I wouldn't know. I haven't played it yet, at least the new one. I've all but finished the first one.
Mm.
Actually, no, I have finished the first one. I think twice at this point. But anyways. But,
It's
it doesn't look good for Guerrilla, especially considering their recent success. Kind of mars the waters a bit for them.
It does.
I'm sure the company will take action on this, because companies do not like it when you attack their... Because here's the thing. When you are a developer and you speak out against a game and it receives this kind of attention and it's not in a good way, there can be problems with the company itself, because that doesn't look good on the company itself. And especially considering Guerrilla's placed itself as one of the more recent jewels in PlayStation's crown, yeah, that doesn't look good even better. It really mires the company here. As for Ubisoft, well, Ubisoft is Ubisoft. I mean,
Ubisoft's gonna.
we
be
were talking about this
Ubisoft
before the stream, but yeah, we were talking about this before the stream. But you could always argue that, I mean, Ubisoft doing that is very much the pot calling the porcelain tea set black. They haven't had an original idea in 20 freaking years. But
Yeah, well, you know.
and while their games are typically not terribly received, they aren't exactly award winning.
No.
I mean, I will fully admit, I have played all the Assassin's Creed games. I'm a fan of that franchise, as anyone who knows me knows. But I mean, I admit there is some level of sameness to their stuff. So, yeah. Doesn't look good for them, but Ubisoft is, if anything, masters of publicity and PR, so I'm sure they will quickly sweep all of this under the rug. They always do.
They have to find a way, anyways.
So yeah, not the greatest look for these companies. And it does kind of show you that one of the tweets I think we leaked down below. Here, let me just make sure we did link this particular tweet.
I'm pretty sure it is linked. I linked everything you sent me, so.
Well, I am just wondering if it's... No, I didn't send you that particular one.
Oh.
But one of the tweets... Actually, never mind. But regardless, one of the things someone actually said on Reddit as contradictory to this statement, just to really start jabbing Ubisoft, because people really didn't start jabbing Guerrilla because, like I said, their recent successes hasn't exactly made them very jabbable. Not much to jab there.
No.
Ubisoft, on the other hand, a lot of things to jab there. One of the people on Reddit... Scratching my ear a little bit here. But have to move my headset a little. My voice might have sounded a little bit more farther away. But anyways. So anyways, on Reddit, and this I did link in the comments, is someone who put a thing. Because here's the thing. There's an item in the game, for those who don't know, in Elden Ring, called stone dagger keys. And they're basically just little daggers made of stone. And the whole point of these items is you find them randomly around the world. They're semi-rare. Sometimes you find them in very hard-to-reach spots. I literally found one on a roof of a castle one time, somehow, on a corpse. Yeah. Clearly that guy wasn't using it anymore. He was dead.
Yeah, he didn't need that.
So, he didn't use it. But anyways. Anyways, the point of these things is that there's a statue in the game, or there are little totems in the games called imp statues. And what they are is they're little imps that are an enemy in the game. They're little imps standing on top of each other. And they often are used to guard doors that often obscure very valuable areas. Sometimes they'll obscure maybe a shortcut, and in that shortcut area there will be rooms full of high quality loot. Good quality stuff. So there is a reason to get in there. In fact, I actually started something of a spell build with an item I found in one of these rooms. So there is incentive to go in there, right?
Hmm.
They hide high quality loot,
You know,
and
it's the
sometimes
good
even
stuff.
open up
If you want the
shortcuts for
good
you.
stuff, you gotta work for it.
Yeah, and sometimes they do hide shortcuts for you to go through. So there's also that as well. So what you do is you take these and they create this almost these statues. They create this almost barrier of impenetrability over the wall. These kind of misty barrier, kind of like a barrier you saw if you ever played Dark Souls, the Dark Soul boss barrier. That kind of shows
Hmm.
you you're about to go into a boss room.
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
except don't
One of
worry, you won't be
those.
going into a boss room. I admit, the first time I saw that, I was like, oh god, I have to fight a boss. But don't worry, no
I'm in
boss.
trouble.
Yeah, PTSD starts rising. But don't worry, you don't have to. And these statues create these barriers. So what you do is you take these daggers, and how you use them is you see the little imps, and you stab them into the head of the imp. Sometimes there's always two imps on top of each other, and not three or anything else. So at most you'll need two. Most of the time you'll need one, because one typically statues will already come with one dagger in their head already. And obviously you can't reuse these keys; they stay in the statue, so that's what makes them rare. Well, no. So why did I spend a little bit of time explaining the functions behind an item in the game? Well, I'll tell you why. Because on Reddit, someone actually knocked Ubisoft for the comment, just in general. In their own words, if Elden Ring was a Ubisoft game, you would have paid $2.99 for those keys, and they probably would have been sold on the store. Which, as you know, Ubisoft has recently been taking to making games in or making stores in all their games. Yes, Ubisoft making games,
Yes.
but so it is kind of it's knocking
Interesting.
Ubisoft for being like, you of all people, come on.
Yeah, it's
You
an
probably would have
interesting
sold
little
these on your
thing.
store, bro.
Hmm. Well,
It was in
that's
the game.
certainly
It's
an
the only way you'd find
interesting little bit, to say the least. Because it's like, ah, yes, I'm gonna knock you about something that we totally don't do. Yep.
Well, I mean, his particular rant, because he's the one who started all of this, particularly. He was the one who commented, the Ubisoft developer at least, commented about the score on Metacritic,
Hmm.
and basically kind of slammed reviewers a little bit more than the game. Well, no, he slammed the gamers, not the gamers. He slammed the game and the reviewers who reviewed it, specifically people of Metacritic, specifically for giving it 97. But he did call out all kinds of reviewers, and that's a whole other ball of wax.
Yeah.
And then the other two just jumped on, being like, or PC game, stability and stuff like that, or quest design. And I can't speak to quest design because I have played them. It's a Souls game. There really isn't any. It's see that big thing, go kill it.
Go take that
That's
thing
it.
out before it take you out.
It has you go to a person, right?
Hmm.
And there is no like quest board as you usually find in most games these days where there's just a checking list of things for you to do. You go to a person, they'll be like, I need your help. Go take my. This is actually one of the quests you actually can do in the game, funny enough. It's like a noble who'll come to you and be like, I need your help. Please take my fortress. It's under siege. There's like the bunch of things in it that want to kill me, and you probably. Go kill them, please, and take them back.
Yeah.
You can choose to ignore him. There's no, checking. There's no like checklist of like quests you need to do. I have probably forgotten some of the things I have to do in the game. So, there is no,
There's no
there is just, and they'll
real
be like,
way
it's,
of being like, ah, yes, I need to do this, or ah, yes, there's this. It's just you do or
yeah,
don't.
he'll be like, yeah, he's like, it's a fortress in the south just past this area. Go find it. And I have to find where that area is and then find the fortress. Now, admittedly, the fortress part's a lot easier to find because it's a giant rock fortress, because it's a giant, fortress. Hard to miss that. But
You know.
I wonder, and I think, funny enough, for 20 minutes, no, I think it was like for a few hours one time, being like, north of the Marramire, north of the Marramire, north of the where? First off, what the heck's the Marramire?
Yes, I am
Actually, it was Miss.
lost. I need help.
Actually, it was the Mistwood. But anyways,
Oh,
but what's the Mistwood? What's the Mistwood? goes up to like an enemy. Hello, do you know what the Mistwood is? Oh, you're gonna attack me. Okay, never mind.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a. And
That's
again,
it.
the game kind of does promote that kind of sense of exploration, and it does kind of feel more natural when you find things. And it's not like there's a giant beacon that shines on the area you need to go now, like a Ubisoft game would. Which I'm not knocking it for that. That does make
No.
traverse a little easier, I admit.
Yeah.
But it does make the game feel more natural when you discover things because they aren't just going to be like, I'll mark it on your map or something. They'll be like, well,
There's
they do
this
every once in a
area.
while.
It's out around here.
Yeah,
That's
if it's
all
like
I
a very
got.
specific. Like, there was only one time someone marked something on my map and it was this very little hidden area that basically was this little portal hidden in a bush.
Mm.
Yeah, it was.
It's like
You
good
needed
luck.
to mark it, otherwise you would have. You needed to mark that spot, or you would have missed it. But
And I
most of the
mean,
time, it's like it's
I
this
mean,
area north of
it
so and
still
so.
makes sense for a game like that to occasionally have things marked on a map because it's like obviously you have your own map, and then obviously some people are actually going to know the exact location for something, so they're going to be like, yeah, no, I can point you in the direction of this. Yeah, I'll just put it on your map right here. Here, hand it over, and there you go. Huh? Good luck. Like
Uh,
that kind of thing
yeah.
could happen, but yeah, you know.
Most of the time, it's just like here, go do X thing south of so and so, or to the to the far east of so and so, and it's like, oh great, the far east of where? Where is that?
Yeah.
And if you've never been there, you don't know what that is. So you're like, to the far east, to the far east. Okay, I'm just gonna walk east and see if I eventually hit it.
Yeah, it's just
And it,
it's really weird and interesting to think about because when it comes to Elden Ring, it is obviously a like doing successful game, and you've got some people kind of posting about it, being like this is terrible and all that, but yet it's
not.
like it's not. So it makes you wonder. It's like why are you acting like it is? Why are you wanting this game to do bad? Isn't games doing good in the
I,
first place, although not good for your
it's probably
company,
just
good
means.
for the industry?
I think no, I did link this tweet. I think probably Joe Longballs, one of the guys we.
Hmm.
Also, what a name!
A
Uh,
name, a name to be.
what a name to be remembered. One of the tweets we linked down below, he actually I think summed it up best. This whole kind of process of events, and he said it's kind of weird how mean spirited these teams become when Japanese games start winning again.
Mm.
Which it is. It's made by the dudes who made Dark Souls.
You know. Well, I mean, you can see a lot of Dark Souls vibes in the game itself, even in the UI and everything. Like there's elements of it throughout the whole work, and obviously a lot of
Oh yeah.
a lot of effort put into it, and a lot of Dark Souls elements have obviously taken inspiration. So
Weirdly enough, I think no, I was about to say Rowling. No, about to say Tolkien now. Oh my goodness. Who was the dude that did Game of Thrones, do you remember? The author.
oh yeah,
Martin.
yeah, Martin.
You can actually see a lot of his apparently because again, he was actually interviewed about his involvement in Elden Ring before it released. And he actually said himself that they were like, well, he's like, apparently they, Brandon and Mako, the guys who make these things, they came to him and they're like, we want you to consult for a game we're making. And he goes, okay, sure, why not? And so they're like, okay, we need a world. Give us a world.
All
So
right.
he basically provided them with, kind of background, context to kind of work around. And, he kind of gave them a framework to play with. And he was a kind of consultant for the background lore. And if you kind of see the background lore, you do kind of get this background lore vibe. In a way, the game itself does kind of feel like Game of Thrones. You got a bunch of lords feuding over one throne to a king who may or may not be dead. So,
Yes.
you know, it ain't no throne. It ain't no throne made of iron swords. Which, I mean, come on, Martin, that's just metal. But I mean, have you seen the Game of Thrones throne? Like, Jesus, bloody heck, man, that thing must be terrible to sit in. Like, I think my butt is sitting on some like spike of like some spike of a sword or something. I don't know. But have you
You
seen
know.
that throne? Man, that is. I mean, if I ever saw someone sitting on the Game of Thrones throne, my first response would not be, "Oh yes, you are so majestic." It would be, "Are you compensating for something?"
Well, mine would be hopefully there ain't no tetanus on that.
I know tetanus on that. You try to get up and you like slash your entire back open.
Yeah, you
But
just take one seat and then you feel something weird on your back. You get up, you turn around. Oh, there's a bunch of
my
red
entire
everywhere.
back.
All
But
I
yeah,
see,
bunch of red everywhere.
I have painted the chair red. Red with what? My blood.
Red with what? My blood. What do you think?
But yeah,
I mean,
it's
I'm not gonna knock. That's a cool throne, but a little
you
weird
know,
looking. I'm not gonna lie.
you know. But
But
it's an interesting note type of thing to look into, really, because frankly, this kind of thing's happened a lot, and every time it does happen, it's an obvious turn of events that you can really go and easily figure out fairly quickly. It's like,
I mean, we've kind of knocked the third guy. I
hmm,
can knock the first guy as well. His comment also had to do with game UX.
hmm,
Now, you kind of mentioned it yourself.
yeah,
When you look at the UI or UX of the game, basically UX is just another word for game UI, if memory serves.
yeah, yeah.
Speaking as a former actual programmer, I have a freaking diploma as a computer technician. I
I
hate to
am
say
a
this.
programmer. I just
I
don't
should
have a
never say this.
job as one.
Shut up.
Well, I mean, that's not what you're
I'm in
wanting to
the
go.
middle of another education stream. I don't have time
Well,
for it.
that's not what you're planning to go overall in the first place. So,
Well, I might do it as a bit of a side job here and there to pick up some
no,
cash in my hours.
interesting. Anyways,
I will certainly make use of it eventually. But anyways, moving on. It's basically just another form for game UI. Basically, the user interface of the game. If you've got referencing another tweet we referenced actually, or actually not tweet. I think it was another bit from Reddit. No, it was another tweet. Where if you've got a compass, it'll show the compass, the mini map, and stuff like that. And the tweet was actually from a dude named Alex. And he said, yes, I found the Elden Ring with the good UX. And basically he made a parody image in the game with like a user interface where it's like the compass on top and the mini map off to the side and the game objectives to the left and massive like bar of stuff below. Oh no, I think that's just a PC experience. And it's like, a bunch of like stuff just cluttering the screen.
yeah,
And here's the funny thing. If you look at it, if you're a gamer who's played a Ubisoft game, specifically Assassin's Creed, you'll go, "Oh, that looks a lot like Assassin's Creed. I wonder why."
interesting, fascinating, strange.
Tarnished sense. Sorry. I just saw something. I just really am dissecting this image as I'm talking about it now. I like the overall bits I've seen, but there's one small little bit in the UI I didn't notice because it's so cluttered to begin with. That I didn't notice at first. And on the image, it's press X to activate Tarnish Sense.
Interesting.
Well done. Way to knock Eagle Vision. Oh my goodness. That's good. I like that. But I legit like that. But anyways,
Yeah, it's just from my point in all this at the end is it's interesting to see when developers and sometimes in certain cases companies do this because either they are going to be putting out something that's not going to do too well or what they have put out is just not doing too well and it's not receiving the attention that they wanted.
that's the thing too. I can't really say that.
Well,
Recently,
no, like
Ubisoft.
for Horizon, yeah, the Horizon one is like the most interesting out of all of this. It's like you worked on Horizon, and Horizon is done like wonderfully. It's like, why are
It
you
is
putting
weird
your hat
hearing
into
that
the
from
ring?
them.
Yeah, it's like, why are you putting your hat into the ring here?
That just makes you sound tone deaf.
Yeah,
But
but in most cases, it's typically like something to do with just the game is not going to do well. So there's
well,
that.
that's the thing. Like, if you even look at Ubisoft's thing, their games, while they're not exactly heralded for their creativity, last I checked, have done very well. Like the last Assassin's Creed they did, Valhalla, was so successful, they're extending it for another year.
Hmm.
And Far Cry 5 is a very like another very good entry into the Far Cry series, for all I've been told. It's a very good addition to the series. So
There you go.
they're not doing badly either, as far as I know. I can't exactly speak for Nixon. I haven't heard anything from them.
Yeah,
Actually, I'm looking that company up right now just to just kind of clarify. But
just to get a good idea. But yeah,
it's like it's not like any of their games are doing bad, so it's not like this is just a this is just a sign of arrogance, if anything else. It's
yeah, yeah. It's just weird. It's a weird type of kind of phenomena like thing going on. It's just really strange to look at and see happen. But, what can you do?
yeah, it's like
But other than that,
hold on, let me just
mm,
go to Nixon's website, see what they've worked on, just so we have a little bit to work off of here. Because she has linked the company website on her thing. Okay. Oh no.
no, no.
Well, we found one stinker. Well, I think they've worked on several games in the past as kind of a side bit. Okay, so they worked on Shadow the Tomb Raider.
Yep.
Um, and apparently they might have worked on the PC port specifically,
Hmm.
which I'm not sure how that played out. They worked on Deus Ex, it looks like,
Ah.
which that game, I liked it. Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I didn't mind it. Though I am told it wasn't exactly the most critically well received.
Yeah, yeah. It's had its interesting base for everyone, so yeah. Still, though.
And I saved the best for last.
Yes.
Marvel's Avengers.
Oh,
Well, we
Marvel.
got a winner.
Yep. I mean, it's not surprising on that front.
That is the pot calling the kettle black here.
Yeah.
No, porcelain. As I keep saying, it's the pot calling the porcelain tea set black. But anyways,
Yeah. But, it is what it is when it comes down
I've
to it.
also played that game. That is not terrible, but again, eh.
Not world shattering.
Interesting how her tweets are protected.
Interesting.
Now.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, not a good look. Not a good look. But anyways,
What can you do?
I imagine these three companies are having a talking to with their employees about tone deafness. But
It's like,
anyways,
why are you doing this? Why are you in the washroom? Why are you still in the washroom? Are you talking to me?
okay, now that is just weird. But anyways, excuse us. Our editor has not had a lot of sunlight recently.
I'm pretty sure I'm missing a lot more than just sunlight there, my friend. But all right.
Yeah, 39's brain cells were killed in cloning process. But anyways,
Yes. What brain cells? I mean, what? No.
exactly.
Corruption detected.
Yeah, he has a hamster wheel on he has a hamster on a wheel.
Nah,
on him,
nah. I
that's
just got a monkey with symbols. Don't worry about it.
But anyways, so
But there's that. There's that. Frankly, it's frankly just one of those things that's just really weird to think about and see, because when it happens, it's in most cases just completely weird and makes no sense onto why it's happening. Like, why are you complaining about this in this situation? Like, why are you getting upset about your work when
I
you
mean, they
should?
could have just had a bad day and just like went onto Twitter and started a rant.
which
But
which is another point to be made. It's like people gotta maybe chill out with that, because in most cases, every time people go onto Twitter to just rant because they're unhappy about something that happened that day, tends to go badly. Not all the time. Sometimes they make a good point and it's like, okay, well, yeah, this is terrible. But a lot of the time it does just not end well. But
Yeah, well,
that's a melting pot that's an inevitability when it comes to the internet itself.
that's just Twitter.
Yep. Yep. Well, there's that. Hopefully, you all got some interesting little drama for the internet and a
Yeah.
few developers
Like,
going and kind of, I don't know what you would call it,
a few
stepping out
developers
of
that may or
line
may
or
not have lost
something.
a few developers that may or may not have lost their jobs at this point. But anyways,
Yeah, you know.
maybe that first guy especially, considering his account, like I said, has now been locked. So
Well, I mean, in a lot of cases like that,
and
people will
possibly
tend.
deleted. So
Yeah, I mean, a lot of cases like that, people tend to either lock or shut down their accounts. That way, people don't see the tweets, despite the fact that it's the internet, and there's such
the
things
internet
as like the
remembers.
Wayback Machines and whatnot. So,
And people have certainly taken a bunch of copies of this, so it's out there. So
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Twitter alone, it's like all it takes is for someone to just repost and retweet, and there you go. You get rid of the source, sure, but it's still there.
And yeah, I will probably still play Horizon. That was actually next on my games to buy list. But
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, one developer going and acting weird doesn't particularly change the overall game.
yeah, there's still
It's
the
still
voice
the work that has
actors
been
and
done. There's like so
yeah,
many
there's
other
still
people who worked on it.
there's still the voice actors, the concept artists, yada yada yada.
Oh yeah. All right. Well,
But anyways, it's
there's
been a
that.
fairly slow week.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of myself, and if I haven't seen much of anything, well, obviously we haven't gotten much at all then. But hopefully
Oh.
next week is we're gonna have a little more dropping. I don't know if any new games will be coming out. I mean, I know there's the new
Here,
Pokemon
let me
that
just
has
look
been
at Opera GX, unsponsored thing.
ah, but I mean, real quick,
Whatever.
I know there's Pokemon. The new Pokemon's getting
Yes.
going, but
Oh crap.
interesting. Aneurysm? Maybe? I think program.exe has stopped working, perhaps. I am not too sure what has just happened. Well, hopefully this isn't his internet crashed or something. Let me double check something for you folks. Yeah, no, I have a connection. Oh, I think his internet crashed for a moment. Yep. His internet crashed for a moment. Do not worry.
I'm an owl.
There we are.
Are we good?
We're good.
I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. For those who do not know, I run this on a laptop, right?
Yeah.
And my laptop was like, your power is low, your battery is dead.
Oh, so that aneurysmic noise was you being like, "Oh no, I have no power. Laptop going to go poot."
Yeah, it's like, your battery's low, your battery's dead. Okay, that was quick, but
All right.
so yeah, that was me being like, ah crap, when the thing came up, because I was like,
I'm in
great."
danger.
But there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Back.
You're
So
back just in time to basically finish up.
Right. I was just about to say, you were talking about the Pokemon thing, right?
Yeah.
Before I cut out real quickly. There is the new Pokemon coming out. I might play that.
Yep.
New Rune Factory. That's weird.
Yeah,
Kirby.
they've teased it by going and posting about the I guess level 1 evolution of the starters for that expansion kind of thing, and
That's
people
nice.
have already gone insane over it as they do. So
Yeah, it's Pokemon. That's kind of
he's
par
a
for the course.
Pokemon. I mean, when you see no Pokemon, you're like, oh, cute little I don't know what thing.
Cute little, I don't know what.
I mean that's
Pokemon in a
take a
nutshell,
note from
children.
Sword and Shield. Ooh, a cute little thing. I mean, I think they're going back towards more animal type Pokemon, which, frankly, that's literally the whole Pokemon universe.
I
Is
mean,
all animal life is Pokemon? Like,
in fairness, what the original Sword and Shield was like every time they make a new game, right?
yeah,
They try to pick like a geographical location to base their game around. Like a theme.
yeah,
So Alola, the Alola region, I can't remember what game that was featured in, was basically Hawaii. So a lot of the Pokemon in that were basically based on Hawaiian and Hawaiian legends and stuff like that. The most recent one, like the one you brought up, Sword and Shield, uh, if you haven't noticed, was based in Europe or the UK specifically.
yeah.
So there's a
But
lot of,
even
knights and armor and stuff like that going on.
yeah, but even then, it's like it's a little weird.
And considering they
I
keep
will
adding
say,
continents, man, that planet must be humongous.
yeah. Well,
Must take like 3 years to fly around that place.
I think it takes a few centuries. And aging doesn't particularly matter, but that's a
I
side
mean,
note.
considering there are Pokemon on Earth that are apparently gods that's existed since the dawn of time, maybe time space magic, children, and you thought destiny was weird. But
All right. Well, there's that. Did you have anything else to quickly add that we might be able to have for next week?
Ghostwire Tokyo is coming out on the 25th of March. That one's kind of interesting. Apparently, Death Stranding Director's Cut is coming on PC on the 30th.
Oh,
for
that's
Windows.
that's gonna be something people are gonna look into and be like, all right, show me, show me what
Mr.
behind the scenes.
Mr. Kojima being Kojima-ing again.
Yep, yep.
The man is a walking meme, and he knows it. Interesting though that it says that it's coming out for Windows, yet not Apple, because this thing actually does show you Opera GX, a non-sponsored non-sponsored thing, actually does. I do find it useful because it actually does have a game release calendar built into it that allows you to filter out different things. Like you can filter for Windows games, PlayStation games, Switch, Xbox, Mac, Linux apparently is also here, Android and iOS. So you've got quite the variety here. So if you're one of those weird human beings that are still using Linux, you can filter for games like that. I won't judge you too
Well,
hard.
I mean,
But
there is benefit within using Linux. Linux does have its pluses. It's got a lot of minuses because it is Linux and its own separate thing. So
our old HTML professor used to use Linux. Used Linux. Remember that?
yeah, yeah.
He was a weird one too.
Well, I mean, he did
I
go
never
and
liked him.
say like Linux has its own pluses and minuses. It's like he uses it because he benefits more from the pluses than he does the minuses. It's like it's just
Well,
one
I
of those
also heard
things.
Well, on a side note, I also heard that he said COVID was a hoax, so I wouldn't
Ye-
speak too much to his intelligence. But
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. It's
anyways, moving on,
yeah.
back to the show.
Mhm.
Forgive our little side tangent.
Mhm.
Behind the scenes, let's call it. But anyways, you can filter for things like Windows and PlayStation and stuff like that, and games that are coming out, right?
Yep.
So, like I said, it's interesting that that says that it's coming to Windows and not. Oh, Kojima no like you. I no like you.
I mean, it depends on what's going on. It might be one of those situations where it's like they just brought it out type of thing, and they're setting up for that, and it's just not properly set up on the website at the moment.
Well, I admit I bought the director's cut for Death Stranding after nearly finishing the game on
Yeah.
PlayStation for PlayStation as well. And what the heck? Why does Grand Theft Auto 5 show as it's coming out for Xbox and PlayStation? Hasn't it done that like
So
six
yeah,
times at this
probably
point?
someone hasn't updated it and is
From
not
March 15th?
updating it.
Probably just like an update for Grand
Yeah,
Theft Auto 5. That's my guess.
maybe.
Because this calendar has been very accurate. It's not had any off-puts, so I'm a little weird. Chocobo GP for Switch on March 10th. Something to do with Final Fantasy and Chocobos, which are basically chickens but more cute. So,
There you go.
But
Well,
but anyways, there you
there's
go.
that. Hopefully, I mean, there are some games coming, and hopefully by next week we'll have some more news-based information for you all. and
Yeah, not just like
something
three dudes
something
who.
for that juicy little mind to go and look at upon and see. Yes, information for me to gain.
Please do not insult our audience.
What? The mind always hungers for more information. How is that an insultment?
The part about their brains being little.
When compared to the rest of the body, yes. And especially when you take it out of the skull, I'm pretty sure it's gonna mush and, deflate a little.
Please don't take that out of context. But
Horror
Internet,
stories.
shut up! I know what you'll do.
Horror SCP tales begin.
Honestly.
Anyways.
Yeah, surprising. Yeah, surprise, surprise. My editor is actually SCP 99999.9.
1173. Yes.
That's the beautiful thing about the SCP.
If
universe.
if you're able to recognize the two combination of numbers I put there, you are big brain time.
That's the beautiful thing about the SCP universe. I can just make something random, give it a random set of digits, and that'll do. But anyways.
Yep. Well, hopefully you all
we'll have
enjoyed.
something better next week.
Yeah, next week we do have hopefully something more tangible for actual full-on entertainment rather than just us kind of discussing happenings of the internets.
Well, that's always kind of what we do. In this case, it's just three people had a very
interesting day, to say the least.
A very unpopular opinion was shared.
Yeah.
A very unpopular opinion. But anyways.
Yep. Well, hopefully you all enjoyed, and we will be seeing you in the next week. Hopefully a little more on time, not an hour late, but
like I said,
we had some fun. We had some fun going in last minute looking for literally anything.
We had some fun. We have some laughs. You were here. It's fine.
Yeah, as long as you gained a little bit of entertainment from this, which is our end goal, I think we did okay, at least.
No, the end goal is money. It's always been money.
my goal is money. Give me your money. SpongeBob, me boy, give me your money.
Mr. Krabs, what do you like? Money.
Money. Why did you go and open a second channel? Money.
Anyways.
Why did you make both a gaming, news, and entertainment channel? Money. Anyways.
No, that's a lie. We're not getting a fucking penny out of this.
I have my own private channel, and then we have this shared channel, hopefully to just solidly give you some good news and what's happening and whatnot. So
maybe if we get lucky, this will break out.
Yep.
Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications and email notifications.
Share it with your friends if you think they'd get a little laugh out of this themselves.
Yep, we try.
Yeah, we're at least trying, and that's all that counts when it comes to this. So
it's better than some people on the internet, but
it's better than putting out clickbait. All right.
We haven't done that yet, but anyways.
Anyways, have a good one, everyone.
Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for being here, and as always, good night. See you in the next week.